Hello, I'm Canon. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this set of videos we'll talk about the use of 35mm lenses on the Fuji GFX. And in this video it's the most affordable lens and the best one, or the most surprising lens of the lenses that I've had the chance to check. This is the Canon 40 f2.8 pancake lens, one of the smallest, most affordable lenses in the entire market, and probably the cheapest lens to cover the entire GFX sensor. The Canon 40 f2.8 gives full coverage. It does vignette quite a bit, but a vignette is completely correctable in post. I just can't tell you how surprised I was to find it. I think it might just be the best street photography lens in the entire Fuji system, though it's not part of the system, but well, we can use it on the system. So that count in my way of counting things. The lens gives the equivalent of about 30mm f2.2, which is nice, kind of close to the 28mm classic. It's also extremely compact on the GFX, probably the lightest, most compact lens, and including the Fringer adapter, which is quite heavy. It's similar in size to the 50 f3.5, but gives us a wider field of view and a slightly faster aperture. Let's take a look at some sample image taken with this lens. None of them are cropped, and if something is cropped, then I'll open up the entire image and we'll see how good the images from this tiny lens are. So here are some sample images from the Canon EF 40 f2.8 pancake lens, probably the smallest and cheapest lens to cover the GFX sensor. All of them are corrected by the lens profile. Let's take a look. So here we can see a detail-rich cityscape. Let's take a look at the middle of the frame and check out the details. We can see details are excellent as we are in the middle of the frame. Lightroom has some hard time with the image, but that will do. Really excellent imagery. Now let's go to the corner and check the situation over there. We can see the slightest degradation. We can look at over here and over here. The details are not as sharp as they are in the middle of the frame, but they are quite sharp and extremely acceptable for a lens with this price tag that was built to accommodate the full frame sensor and not the GFX one. Just excellent details, only the slightest degradation on the extreme corners. Let's take the profile off just to see. Not too much. I think it might even look better without the profile. Adds a bit more drama to it. And that's what the profile do. It's actually a pretty decent technical lens, and there's actually no comparable lens in the Fuji lineup. Not aperture-wise, not field of view-wise. So pretty unique lens, and the price is just ridiculous. Let's see another image. So here's the lens at f2.8. It's focused on the lady, and we see very nice details on the jeans, decent details on the benches, on the sleeping soldier over there. Here next to the cell phone we can see some fringing, some purple fringing that aren't covered by the profile correction. Let's take the profile correction off. Seems okay, and go to the manual mode. Now let's defringe them a bit. Okay, and here we can see they're okay, but we do have a slight problem with the edges of her hand and the edges of the phone. I don't know if it's something that coming from the lens or from the sensor, but that's at f2.8. And we can also see the vignette is a bit more pronounced at f2.8. Let's go to the profile and correct it for a minute. And once the profile is enabled, it's corrected quite nicely. We can see what looks as degradation at the extreme corners, but I can't tell if it is degradation or just areas that are out of focus. All in all, nice image. It does give some character to it, but not the most technical. Here we can see another f16 image. I think that's the closest the aperture can get on this lens. Though diffraction has taken some of its toll, the image still reasonably detailed. The resolution is fine, and I think a bit of sharpening and maybe just a tiny bit of post-production will do good, but all in all, it's a nice image straight out of camera. Let's delete the profile, and we see a bit more vignette, but not too much. Sometimes it's actually even better regarding the image, but it is what it is. And here's a close-up at 2.8. Let's dive in. So here we can see it's not tack sharp. Even in the focus plane, it's decent, but it's not top-notch technical quality that I would expect from a GF lens. But it's not a GF lens, it's an EF lens, and for that matter it works fine. It's way over its pay grade. Here's another image. Let's remove the profile correction. Still looks nice. The excellent dynamic range of the GFX 100S sensor works just fine. In this image I actually pushed dynamic range to its limit and also performed some transformation. So if we open up the crop, we can see what I did there. It's not a lens distortion. I straightened up the image because of the angle I was shooting in, but that shows how good the lens actually is. Excellent details all across the frame. This was shot at f8, which is kind of the sweet spot of this lens in my opinion, at least for the type of photography that I enjoy. And we can see all across the frame details are quite sharp. Here we go a bit out of the focus plane and still looks quite nice. Excellent technical lens for street photography, for urban landscapes, and for architecture. Let's check the details here. Again, it's f2.8. Excellent details. Looks better than the other image, but we do see some color fringing. Here we can see the concrete. That's not a vignette, that's an actual shadow. This is the vignette. It's existent, but it's very easily correctable, as we can see in this image, which is a bit more close-up. There is some vignette, easily correctable. And that's about it. I think it's one of the best lenses that Canon has to offer to the Fuji lineup. Not expensive, extremely compact, and quite fantastic optically. So in short summary, the 40 f2.8 is a must-have for anybody who likes moderately wide lenses, like street shooting, like documentary shooting. It's extremely compact, it's extremely small. It doesn't make the system look so big. You don't look like a heavyweight photographer with it. Extremely comfortable. It's getting really close to the actual GF lenses in a fraction of the price, even if we'll throw in the not that cheap Fringer adapter.